So today is Saturday, August 13th, and in less than 1 week, everyone's favorite game, Metroid Prime Federation Force, will finally hit the scene. So man oh man, Metroid Prime Federation Force has been quite the doozy. It is in quite the pickle, you could say. It's a big deal, this game, for reasons that we all know. I myself am a massive Metroid fan, so I have a lot of feelings on the game both ways. We all know the story when it was revealed at E3 last year, and it was super disappointing. Not the Metroid game people wanted. People aren't happy with the graphic style. It's multiplayer, it's portable, there's no Samus really involved. It's just been a big mess, and I was somebody who was initially very upset about it, very angry, not happy with the game. And over the course of this last year now and leading up to the release in just a couple of days, which is crazy, I've definitely lightened up on the game. Quite a bit, actually. I started to realize that maybe I didn't have to hold it so close to my chest that I wasn't getting the Metroid Prime, the Metroid game that I wanted. Not just Metroid Prime, that's a specific series within the Metroid sort of canon and universe, and I think people sort of forget to separate those. So regardless, maybe I just don't need to be holding a Metroid game so close to my chest and what I was hoping to get. And one of the main reasons, I've kind of brought this up before, that I was willing to let go of some of that anger is I truly believe, to this very minute I believe this, that Nintendo is working on the next Metroid game. Part of the reason I think we never saw it at E3 last year or any time before or since is that whatever they were working on or planning was probably intended for the Wii U. And as we know, and as I've discussed on a video in the past as well, I think that Nintendo had to course correct with the Wii U. And through that, I guarantee the first game on the docket that was planned for the Wii U to get moved to the NX was Metroid. Whatever console Metroid game they were making, and I absolutely believe they were doing something, they were like, oh, well, with this course correcting, we're just going to move this shit this way. Metroid's going to show up on the NX down the road. And they had to reset a lot of what they were doing, I think, to do that. So, just a personal theory and my speculation, nothing official. But through that, it helped ease the pain of what Metroid Prime Federation Force seemed to be and what it was representing. The fact that I wasn't getting the Metroid game that we deserved, and where's the actual console Metroid game, which I do think we deserve it, and I do desperately want it. But Metroid Prime Federation Force, I think, is meant to be something different, which is what Nintendo has said. So I've realized that we don't have to expect special things out of this game. I think that when you really think about it, Nintendo's been completely transparent with this game. We've known what it is from the get-go, except for the blast ball kind of thing at the Nintendo World Championships. That was a little bit of a rope-a-dope for about 24 hours. But we learned what it was, and they've been very upfront with it. And even with all of the couple of trailer reveals and little bits of information we've gotten since then, all the way up to the demo, which was made available now a week or two ago, I think, which I did play a little bit, never was able to get online. But I thought it was pretty good. And, some of the podcast guys, Mizzy and Terminator Juice, got to play it online. Really, really enjoyed it. So I'm going to wrap this whole part up and say, ultimately, what I'm getting at is I've decided to give the game a shot. I have pre-ordered it. I've paid for it. I'll be getting it in a couple of days. And I'm excited. I'm excited for a new game that is still in the Metroid universe. I'm excited to get a brand new case that is Metroid. We'll say Metroid on it and be a Metroid game. And I know that there's like Samus in like the cutscenes or whatever. And you know what? Even if the game's not all that great, it's going to be great for collector's sake. I'll be glad that I have it because in 10 years, I'll probably want to get it again, and it's going to be a game that is impossible to find. I just know that game will be hard to find, just like Metroid Prime Hunters is now. So good luck finding that game, by the way, for not a lot of money. So I'm excited to get the game. I'm going to give it a shot. Now, the reason I'm talking about it, beyond just discussing the game a little bit and its history, my fanship of Metroid Prime being my favorite game of all time, and the fact that we're not getting the actual Metroid game that maybe we wanted, I wanted to discuss how Metroid Prime Federation Force could actually still bode very well for the future of the Metroid franchise. So ultimately, what I'm getting at with this idea is that part of what happened when they revealed Federation Force was the fact that people were saying, we haven't had Metroid in a while. We haven't had a traditional Metroid, even if it was like a 2D side-scroller on the 3DS or a handheld, or if it was a console game that was a Metroid Prime 4, or even a sequel to Other M, which I know some people didn't like, or just something brand new, something that was a brand new Samus adventure. We were hoping that was going to happen, and it didn't happen. Now, through that, people have the fear that Nintendo might not be paying attention to Metroid. And I get it. I definitely have my belief that I am stalwart in believing that Nintendo is working on a new Metroid for a console, but I could be wrong. And through me being wrong, maybe Nintendo hasn't really been thinking about we need to do another Metroid game. I mean, let's look at the real zeitgeist title here, which is Metroid Other M. An unfortunate game that I really, really enjoy. I think it's not even so much that I enjoy it. I do genuinely think it's a good game. I think that game qualifies as a good game, regardless of Metroid, regardless of Nintendo, regardless of if you're a fan of Samus or not. I think if you look at it objectively, it's a good game. It's a game with a steep barrier of entry and a steep learning curve. That's the biggest mistake they made with that game, and ultimately I wish they did not do that. But I still think it's a very good game. Now, through the barrier of entry that they created and the fact that some people didn't like her inner monologue voice acting, even though her voice acting was good outside of her inner monologue, people seem to not bring up, through that, people just didn't really understand that game. A lot of people didn't like it. They didn't understand it. Like I said, I acknowledge that Nintendo probably shouldn't have made a couple of design choices that they did. I think that made it the game that a lot of people couldn't connect to. And so one would have to argue that through that, Nintendo probably has been a little bit scared or gun-shy when it comes to the Metroid series, especially with a big, bold, large funded investment as far as here's, another $40 million to make the next brand new, huge AAA Metroid experience for the Wii U or the NX or whatever. I'm sure that through what happened with Other M, which sold, I think it maybe barely cracked 1 million, maybe just under 1 million, and it took a while to do so, on a system that had 100 million units out there. So I'm sure that what happened is Nintendo changed how they looked at creating new Metroid games and what they wanted to put into it. So regardless of if they are or are not currently working on a console Metroid, I think that Federation Force came out of that. They're like, well, we care about this Metroid franchise. We like it. And there's, maybe a couple of people who still like it. So we'll just make this weird little spin-off thing. We want to try new ideas in Metroid. We want to do a multiplayer online shooter. It's going to work great on the 3DS. It's going to look cool. We have this unique style, and it's online. And it's Metroid. And they thought that people were probably going to be really into that. The poor souls at Nintendo, those guys probably really thought they had something special on their hands. And unfortunately, it didn't turn out to be that way. Now, the real problem is, again, Other M is the zeitgeist title because I think that through all this, Nintendo probably also felt that Other M lost a lot of Metroid fans, which is absolutely not the case, by the way. Although I could see how they would look at it that way. I think that they were like, wow, the game didn't do so well. People didn't like it. It didn't really sell that well. The reviews weren't very good. Maybe people just don't care about Metroid. That's probably what's happening. So maybe we'll do another Metroid game, maybe not. Instead, here's this little half-assed online shooter portable Federation Force game. That's Metroid Prime. And I think that that's what happened there, you guys, which is really tragic and really sad. Now, with Federation Force, what I think might have happened, when you look at, we all know the toxic reaction that game had a year ago. We all know about the downvotes on the trailer and all the tweets and all the angry people talking about it. I was angry for a day. I made one video where I was very angry. I fully admit that. The day of the conference last year, I did make an angry video. And through all of this negative reaction, what I'm hoping has happened. Let's even assume that my theory that they're working on a new Metroid game isn't true, and maybe they're not doing that currently. I'm willing to bet that what had happened is Nintendo probably learned a great, excellent, and very valuable lesson that, oh my god, people do care about Metroid. People do care about Samus. They do want the series and the character and these games to return the way that we always used to make them. They do actually care. And it's interesting when you think about this theory because to me it's like, duh, of course we care about it. Like, just because one game you released that was extremely different and awkward, people didn't like, that wouldn't necessarily mean that people don't care about this series or this character. I mean, every time people bring up Nintendo's characters, you're going to get the first three games out of their mouths will be Mario, followed by Zelda, followed by Metroid. And occasionally you're going to get like Star Foxes and Animal Crossings and Donkey Kongs and things, but really people say Mario, Zelda, Metroid. That's what we want. That's what Nintendo does. That's what we care about. And maybe Nintendo, the messaging got lost there with the reaction to Other M and some other things. People didn't even really like Metroid Prime Hunters, to be fair, although I think that's a pretty good game. People didn't really like that. So with Metroid Prime getting the reaction it did, what I'm thinking and am hoping has happened is Nintendo learned that, oh my god, people really care. And especially in the Western audience, we all know the weird tale with Metroid, where it's a very Japanese-developed and centric series. That's where it started. It released a year earlier only in Japan. The series has never done well in Japan. Where it's based out of and developed in, for that audience initially, but it's here in the West, here in North America, and I'm pretty sure the UK, where we have gobbled up Metroid, and we love it, and we buy the shirts, and we buy the stickers, and we talk about it, and we theorize, and we have people who make fan remakes of games, of Game Boy Metroid games that people would never otherwise play. We love Metroid. We love Samus. We want this character. I want this character. So Nintendo, Federation Force can be your neat little side project experiment. And I'm okay with that. I've gotten to the point where I'm okay with that. And I think gamers are getting there too. I don't think the game is going to be a big hit. Another reason why I think it'll be hard to get. So by the way, if you want to get into the collecting aspect, I recommend picking that game up because my theory is it's going to be hard to find down the road. Anyway, people love Metroid and Samus. This game is a game that is probably not going to do well. It might even be a pretty good game. The demo was neat. The controls are fantastic. The visuals were great. It's probably going to be an okay game, but it's not going to do very well. So I just don't want Nintendo, I don't want you to take the wrong message away from this, and I want you to understand how much we care. The gaming community and Nintendo fans, and especially us here in North America, we love our Samus. We want Samus to return. The reason people downvoted that trailer and got so angry at you about Metroid is because we love it, and because we love Samus, and because we want the series to come back and return the way we want it. This game's going to be fine, Federation Force, but we want real Metroid. And it's silly to think that Nintendo didn't realize that until Federation Force, but I think that that's going to be the weird positive byproduct of this really weird looking game that no one wants, is that Nintendo's going to say, wow, let's not forget about that guy Metroid, you know? Let's not forget about Samus and the Metroid series. It's obviously important. People want it. And again, I'm going to leave you with this last thought. If you have any faith in me, I really, really believe, you guys, that Nintendo is working on a Metroid game. I absolutely think it's going to happen. Will it get revealed with the NX? Probably not. Will it launch with the NX or within the first year? Probably not. Now, it might get shown at E3 next year, and I'd be willing to bet that almost for certain, if they really are working on it, it's going to be E3 2017 that will officially see the game. But that's all my theory and speculation, just as this theory that Federation Force and the toxic reaction has maybe convinced Nintendo that we do care about the series and character and that we want it back, and I think it's going to lead to good things. Even if the game isn't good and everyone hates it, I think Federation Force might create a stronger Metroid future because of it. So that's what I think. Tell me what you guys think about this. What do you think about Federation Force? Are you still ragefully angry and you just want to run over that game with a freaking bulldozer? Or have you maybe decided that you're interested and you want to give it a shot? Or are you just completely indifferent? What do you think about the theory that Federation Force is going to yield a stronger future for Metroid than if maybe they hadn't made the game? Interesting stuff to talk about. Tell me what you guys think. Thanks as always for tuning in, guys. This is Rob of Rule of Two Review, and I'll catch you guys next time on another video.